Let's hit it.
Welcome to STL Showdown. I'm AJ, and this is Steve. What are your favorite games? You ready to start this?
Yeah.
3 words.
Let's do it. Those of you that, if you're not used to this, what I do is we generate 3 words for how we describe the game that we just saw. And then you generate your 3 words and you say why you came up with that. So, do you want me to go first or you can go first, bud?
I'll do 1 word and I'll let you do the next one.
Let's hit it.
All right. My first word is finally.
Yes.
Finally. Well, I guess that's multiple words, but you get the point.
12, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, and I'm sure I just stole that from you too, so my bad. But it's like finally the goals broke through. Reddit was going to have a freaking stroke if there wasn't a goal scored. Like, seriously, Reddit was going to shut down. I told you guys, like, the first game was very indicative of what we were going to see. The first game, we had like 1,000 shots on goal. I mean, Betcher alone had like, I think it was like 4 headers and then a couple kicks towards a goal. Now, they weren't necessarily great, but he was like in position. The San Diego game, we struggled against the press. That had nothing to do with attacking third. Our midfield just could not handle that press. So anyways, that's my first word. I yield it to you, Steve.
My first word is goals. Like, we can actually do that. It's fun to be able to score goals. Our goal differential is +3 right now. So we'll go ahead and take that. By the way, and we are apparently, according to the broadcast tonight, the only team in the league with no goals. Clean sheets all the way. We're the only team so far. So I will take that. So that's my first one is goals. What about you? What's your second one?
Dang, you were so loud. I think your microphone clipped on that. I'm pretty sure you said goals.
I may have said goals, yes.
There's so much excitement there. Well, you kind of so I took your first word. I think you kind of took mine. Mine was going to be essentially this defense. We did struggle. There was a few counters that I felt like we struggled with, but overall, this defense is locked tight. Now, unlike the first 2 games, Berkey actually got the play. Like, I think the first 2 games, he was just napping back there. He was probably bored out of his freaking mind. This game, he actually had to work a little bit, and I am so glad we have Berkey back there, because if we just had a replacement MLS, a goalkeeper, this would be a 3-2 game or worse.
Sure. Yeah.
Berkey, man, what an outstanding performance. He's always on point. He's always working hard. Oh, by the way, we finally got to see Angry Berkey.
Yes, I was getting ready to say that too.
Last year, you saw that too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, he was fired up.
Yeah, Angry Berkey is a fun Berkey. Hebert falling asleep a couple times, Yarrow kind of hanging him out to dry. It was good to see passion Berkey. That's my favorite kind of trading card, Angry Berkey. I want the angry one. All right, my second word is table. In that it feels good to be moving up the table instead of down the table. This time last year we were on that slide down, and with our first 2 draws, we started in like 9th, and then last week, we slid down to 11th. And after yesterday, when we didn't play, we were actually slid down to 12th. And now we just skipped all over. We're all the way up to 6th. So if we win next week and a couple teams above us don't, we're in that third to 4th. We could potentially get as high as 2nd in the West next week. So, like, that's pretty good.
Like, a tough game, though.
Oh, right? Seattle's going to be nuts.
We play Seattle.
Yeah.
At Seattle, right?
Yeah. No. Seattle comes here, but...
Oh, they come here. Oh, thank goodness.
But still, they have a very wounded team, and they put 5 on the Galaxy, or on the LAFC. So it's going to be a great match. I hope everyone definitely watches that, because, Gateway to Hell is going to be ready. Now that we're coming off this win, everyone's going to be passionate and ready to be there. Jordan Morris just became the all-time leading scorer in Seattle history. They're going to be geared up, ready to come in here and kind of ruin our fun. It's going to be such a good game. I can't wait. What's your third word?
My third word, one of the players I keep saying over and over again, the capital B, Betcher.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Man, this guy comes in, I forgot when it was, like 65th minute, 70th minute, whatever it was. And what happens? Of course he scores.
Of course he scores.
He had that awesome, like, he in hockey terms, you know how they count the past two people, like they have the goal scorer and then the last two people touch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. For the
So
assist, yeah.
he did that nice give and go kind of pass where he passed and then ran up and cut through the line and then received the pass and scored. I mean, that was just a perfect sequence. Of course he did it. Of course. He's just always in the right place at the right time, it feels like. And honestly, my father had said, I think it was somewhere in the beginning of the second half, he says, yeah, our corners look a lot less threatening than they used to be. And he said because of Tim Parker. Like Tim Parker was like our scary
Yeah. The guy in the
guy
middle,
with
yeah.
corners. Now, Betcher is definitely not a physical guy. He's not tall, but at least based on like the first game, if you look back at the first game, the kind of head games he was playing on one of the
Oh
set
yeah,
pieces,
he was
like
mean mugging the goalie. Yeah. That shit was wild, man. That was wild.
so yeah, I'm rooting for Betcher, and it's tough. I get that, you know, listening to like Matt Baker, he keeps on saying that, you know, Twitcher and Betcher are making similar runs and et cetera, et cetera. I actually like Klaus, by the way, not to get in too much into this, but I actually liked him out there. He did great to help connect the lines,
Yes.
and he's a very physical player, especially
That's why
along
we have to have him out there.
the touch lines. But ultimately you want to score goals, and I really really miss having Betcher out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Actually, Twelman made a comment tonight that after Kloss barely missed that goal, even Twelman was like, "Will he ever score again?" Like that's just now it's out there in the ether. Now everyone is like becoming more and more aware that he's just snake bit. Dude just can't buy a goal for nothing. Like how many times last year did you and I say he's a half inch away? He's almost there. It just barely didn't go in. Like this is the story of Kloss since May of last year. It's wild. It's wild to say. All right, my final word doubles as a number. That number is 3. We scored 3 goals and we came out of this game with 3 damn points. That is a wonderful combination. That is some wonderful symmetry. We win a road game. We come away with 3 points. We leave this away series with 4 points, and we're coming back home. Like we have to feel good about that. We got to feel good about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, like you said, we're so early into the season that we jumped from literally, as you said, 12th on the table to 6th. That's how much. And just to make a point, like I said last episode, is that wins are huge. You can draw all day long, but you actually start to lose ground. I would rather teams go for it, and it's better to have 1 win and 1 loss than 2 draws.
Yeah.
And we could see just this early on the power of a win, especially on the road.
It was so sad to see us just slowly die down the table last year. Draw after draw after draw. We just kept dropping. Like the theme last year was it's got to get better, right? Like it just something has to give, and it never gave. And like I'm telling you, I don't think Bradley Carnell has got the judge to be an MLS head coach. This Melberg, I think he's got the judge. Like you saw last week, we had 2 shots on goal. We had 2 shots this week within minutes. And like before the game started, he was interviewed and he said, they asked him, what do you need to do better on the ball? He says, everything. And like you immediately saw that passion and that fire come out in that team. And they had as many shots on goal last week as they did in the first like 5 minutes of this game. They were ready, and it was difficult for LA to keep up. So yeah, this is a different ass team. I love it.
Just for some stats for you before we transition to goal or no goal. Our total shots this game was 14 with 6 off target and 5 on target. Now, LA did have a lot. They had 23 total shots, 8 on target. But the point is compared to last week, a lot of people were freaking out. This is obviously a fluke. That's a lot of shots.
Yeah.
By us, to be honest, especially between that and the first game. I think there's a good chance that this is going to continue.
Yeah, I don't think this is a fluke. I think no one's going to be able to convince me that last week wasn't a park the bus, don't get embarrassed by the new team situation. I know we struggled in midfield, but like you just look, there was 0 effort to actually press and expose the defense. Last week it was protect everything, don't lose. Like, it wasn't, we weren't playing to win, we were playing to not lose. And like you saw this week against the defending champs, I don't care if they're hurt, they're the defending champs. They got the biggest target on their back. We win their damn house, and we have them starting 0-3, which, by the way, no MLS team in the history of this league has ever won the cup and the very next year started 0-3. And we did that to the Galaxy tonight. We did that.
So our next segment here is goal or no goal. If this is the first time you guys are listening, essentially we typically take things that we see on social media, or sometimes it's just thoughts that we have, and we ask each other goal or no goal. So the first thought is this is actually a thought that I was thinking about during this game, and that's we seem to be a very defensively minded team, but I still feel like there's some offensive production. Do you feel like at the end of the season, we're going to be saying about this team, if we score first, then we're going to win the game. But if the opponent scores first, we're going to have tons and tons of trouble winning that particular game, just because it seems like we're a defensive-minded team. Do you agree with that goal or no goal?
I'm going to say no goal, because this year I don't think that this team is a tale of two halves team. I think if we go down early, I don't think this team is going to fold. I think we have a coach that can actually get the team ready during halftime and come out and have a fresh mindset. We saw last year that when we gave up the first goal, I'm sure there's an easy way to find that stat, that like it was hard for us to come back and win. We can't really tell because we haven't given up a goal yet. So it's kind of hard to tell if that will be the case, but I don't see that being the case. I have a feeling you disagree. What do you think?
Oh man, this is a tough one. So that's something I've been pondering with myself, is what are we going to be? I think there's a chance I would say no goal compared to the MLS average. The reason why is this 3-4-1-2-ish that we're running. Those wing backs, obviously we see seeing like in this game, those wing backs just play back, so it's almost like we got a back five. But I feel like if we're tied and we need to win, like let's say we're at home and we're trying to get the 3 points, or we're down by a goal, those wing backs could just push further ahead. I feel like it can transition very offensively, potentially. We'll see. I don't know. Like, we haven't been in that situation, and I hope that we continue these clean sheets for next, 30 games or so. We'll see. So my next goal or no goal here is A2 Eden said on Reddit, already as many away wins as last year. LA was definitely short-handed, but a win is win. Much better passing and creativity. Hopefully the norm going forward. Goal or no goal?
Yeah, I hope it is the norm going forward. I would say it's a goal for sure, because it was last year was pathetic on the road. I think it was like mid-September, October, when we had our first win on the road, and there was a bunch of draws, but like that was so bad. In fact, it became like a record thing. Like, how long is it going to be? And we finally got it. We hadn't had a road win since, like, I think it was August of the previous year is what that was. And we went over a calendar year without a road win. And now we have one. Yay! So I do think that's a goal for me. What about you?
I'm going to say it's a goal that hits off the woodwork and then makes its way in. Here's the reason why. I'm a little iffy on the passing. So our passing, I think, was 82%. So it's about average. And I did like, unlike last week where we just constantly passed back to Berkey, we were attempting to make meaningful passes. And sometimes we took risk. So there was times where we would try to make that through ball, and sometimes it didn't work out, but I was okay with it because they were making good, educated, and athletic chances, and I think that was favoring us. As far as creativity, okay, I know we're like really high on this win. I didn't see like this ultimate creativity, not any more than like, a team that is, 5th through 10th place kind of thing. I didn't see any like really, really creative things. I saw like just pretty standard, but well played soccer. I felt like the passes that we did make, they tended to be a little bit crisper. There's shorter passes there. I felt like when they were trying to build up as well. But yeah, I would say mostly a goal there.
All right.
So next one is Gaines UND Games 07 on Reddit. Was Marco Royce making anybody else nervous basically the entire game?
Yeah, he seemed
goal.
Goal for sure. Like, he had a couple of moves where he if he put a better foot on the ball, he would have probably scored. He probably would have had a brace tonight. He definitely made me nervous. But I will caveat by saying, remember that the city was so upset that he went to LA and we had to settle. And I called it back then. I would rather have a guy in his prime than a guy coming out of his prime and heading towards retirement, and Royce. And those comments were made tonight that I don't know if you noticed or not, but at the beginning of the match or before the match, they were showing Royce running around, and like one of his legs had that KT tape from his knee all the way down to his ankle. And they were saying, like, even Twellman was like, this is kind of weird. It seems like he is protecting that knee. So like he did make me nervous, but it won't for the long run. What about you?
Yeah, I would say goal. I was kind of nervous. He seemed like he was in the right place, but fortunately, I feel like we disrupted him enough. And there was one ball that I was thinking of that I think he just didn't see the ball well, and it probably would have been, if he had, it would have been an easy goal.
Yeah. You know what? What if it's like the way we were? So like all his striking buddies are all hurt, right? Most of his team is hurt. What if Galaxy is kind of going through what Klaus went through last year, where like all his buddies, it's like all my friends are dead, like all the dinosaurs died, and it's just him looking around for someone to pass to, and no one's there, and he's having to take all these wacky shots. Like, what if like there has to be some team every year in the MLS, I'm sure, that goes through this, and last year it rotated to us, and this year it's rotating over to Galaxy. How about this? Goal or no goal. There is a curse in the MLS that some team has to have their superstar be the only one out there, and they look like dog water for the rest of the year.
Ooh, are we allowed to talk about curses?
Talking about the curse, bud. We already did. It's already out there now. I ain't saying the white word.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think there is kind of a goal here, but I'm kind of afraid to say it because I don't want it to come back towards us.
Those clowns over there can have it now.
Okay, well, I'll say goal carefully.
Or maybe it stops in Kansas. It hits back here.
Kansas is just a perennial curse. Yeah. Screw those guys.
Yeah, screw them. They're dry ass barbecue.
All right, we got another one for you. Alter Eager said this. Iger, whatever. I am a huge Leuven fan, but is it just me or did he really struggle today? Now the comment below that says Hawkeye 91803 said, I thought he played good. He was just asked to stay back and play a lot of D. So specifically the first comment about Leuven struggling. Goal or no goal?
I'm going to say goal only because it is probably due to the way that the team is being structured right now. It's being restructured in that Leuven doesn't have to be the guy. Like there's other guys now. But like I remember at one point in the game, I was like, oh, Leuven's out there. Like he was the main attraction for the first years. All those corners and all like having to score all the goals. What if he's just now like a really good defensive midfielder? Like this is his position. This is what he wants to do. And now he can do it. And now he can be that invisible partner out there doing this stuff. So like I'd say a goal only because he's not front and center right now. What about you?
Well, I would say no goal because I don't necessarily think he's struggling per se. Here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm looking at his stats here, and this game he had 40 of 45 passes complete, so 89%. Right. So that's actually pretty darn good. Expected assist of 0.54. Of course, there's tons of stats that we can go through. Tackles, he was 60%, ground duels, 56%. But just even the eye test, the one thing that you could tell, a lot of times when these guys get the ball, and I'm talking about like just the lower guys, they get the ball, they just kind of run with it or they try to pass. But Leuven, he has this really fancy footwork. When it's 1v1, I'm putting money on Leuven every single time. Yeah. He can own even the best of them.
Right.
He is great 1v1, and it definitely showed, and you could see it quite a bit today. And I was actually 100% loving that. I do agree with you. His role has changed, and maybe it's for the better. I mean, he wants to play this defensive midfielder, and especially with Hartl, it kind of makes sense. So you're kind of connecting in some way from the back line to Leuven to Hartl to your attackers. And obviously, it's not always that order. Yeah. Plus the number of passes, man, 45 passes is what he did. To give you an idea, the total passes, I think, was 250. So he literally had about 20 yeah, 20% of the passes for the entire
Jesus.
team.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Yep. Hey,
Holy moly.
I got one. I got a couple for you.
Okay,
Yep.
hit me.
A Reddit user said we won because of the collars.
Steve, you and your freaking collars, dude. Holy crap.
Did we win because of the Would It Be the Cowas? AJ, did we win because of Would It Be the Cowas?
Well, so I like polos, dude, like in all seriousness.
Yes, but to play sports in them.
So my question is, I guess I see what you're saying, right? Just because you like something doesn't mean you want it on everything. Just because you like peanut butter doesn't mean you want it on your steak or mashed potatoes or something like that, right? I get it, Steve. But you know what? Just to spite you, just because I'm going to say goal to those collars.
You know what? I will give it to the
I'm going to
collars.
pretend I have a collar. See, here, just for you, I'm
Thanks.
pretending.
Poor
How's that?
Confluence kit. All right. So like I agree because we won. We won, so it's probably gonna cover the collar. All right, I got one more. This dude on Ryan. This is now aged like milk. This dude on Facebook named Ryan says, "You think by watching this game, we were the team that had a midweek match. We had a first good 10 minutes, and the rest of this half has been about as embarrassing as last week." Goal or no goal? That was a good take.
Embarrassing as last week?
Yep. And another commenter says,
What?
Another commenter says, please continue reverse jinxing us like this. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Betcher scored, what minute was that? 84th minute, right? And then Hartle scored in the 9th minute. So 2 goals. So 2 of all 3 goals that we've had in 3 games. And you're saying our second half stunk?
Yep. That's what this guy is. He was not happy with it. He was not happy.
I'm going to say no goal. And guess what, dude? Like, when you have the lead on the road 2-0,
yeah,
you play more defensively. That's why we took out Klaus and Teuchert, put Betcher in, and then we put Yarrow in a center back. We went more defensive because that's a smart strategy. I'm sorry. It's maybe not as fun for you little people, but I'm sorry. What do we care about,
wild,
Steve? We
man.
care about the W.
The W.
The win.
How it happens. Yeah. The W. Yep.
People, I just can't. I just can't sometimes. Give me a freaking break. You know what, Steve? You have a fun little game. I think people are going to really enjoy this. We did this, I think, during one of our preseason episodes, and it's Guess the Player. Guess who?
Yep. All right. You get 3 guesses. If you get the first guess, you get 5 points. You get it on the second hint, you get 3 points. And if you got to get all 3 hints, you get 1 point. All right, here we go. First player.
Hit me.
We'll just do a couple. All right. I have played in the UEFA Champions League. Current City player. I have played in the UEFA Champions League. All right. Sorry, bud. No more 5 points.
I'm never good at guessing these things.
3 on the table.
My memory.
This one might be a little easier. Actually, yep. I won the MLS Goalkeeper of the Year in 2023.
Oh, man.
Who's that guy?
I wonder if it's Lunt or is
I think it is. It's Finn.
Oh, man. I can't. Okay, fine. I'll just say Berkey. You know,
Well,
just
let me check. It is this guy named Roman. Yes. So yes, it is Berkey. Yes. All right.
Roman like the candle.
Yes. Let's see. Let's do one more here. How about? Okay. I started my MLS career with the New York Red Bull.
Who was the Red Bull? Man, I'm dying here. Who started with the Red Bulls?
All right. Second guess, second hit. I play as a left back and bring speed to the team.
Is it Reed?
It is Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Then I hear you start to say it's not J, and then you curse yourself. Maybe that's the curse. Yeah. You want to do one more? I got another one lined up.
Not the curse. No.
Yeah, it's on you now.
Crap. Okay. Go for it.
All right. Last one. I was born in Germany and have played in the Bundesliga.
Leuven.
Nope. Sorry, Gat.
I don't know where he is. Okay, go ahead.
I once played for PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. As a hint, you saw him tonight.
Was it Teuchert?
It was not.
No, he was on 99. Okay, well, technically that was my guess.
And then 1 point. 1 point left. I joined St. Louis City SC in 2024 as a center back.
Oh, fine.
Timo Baumgartel.
Oh, yeah. How did I forget that guy? He came in.
Man, poor
Yeah,
guy got
good
forgot
call.
by AJ. He's gonna watch this and get very upset, and he's gonna write us a letter.
I know he was actually somebody I thought was gonna potentially be a starter or at least have some minutes, but no, nothing.
Well,
But that's okay.
if you listen to Twelman tonight, Twelman's like he needs to be a starter, especially if they go three back. He needs to be the center back there. But then what's Kessler going to do?
So you have to have Kessler, right? And then you got the two other center backs. You got Hebert and usually Horn back there. Hebert's actually been playing really well, and this is actually this hybrid kind of. I don't want to call it like a right back or left back. I mean, it's the right center back, center back, left center back, but this kind of role is actually fitting very well for him. I guess maybe take out Horn, but I don't know. I think just this pairing, why would you screw with this?
I know.
Because the other thing is you don't always have to have the best three players out there. You have to have the best three complementary players.
Yep.
Just saying. Okay.
Yep. All right. So that's Guess the Player on STL City Showdown.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, Steve, one last quick little game to kind of help round us off and finish off. And we'll keep this short here. And that's Coach for a Day. So going into the Seattle game, so this is technically going up against a generic opponent next week. So don't think necessarily going up against Seattle. But going up against a generic team, what would you do next week compared to what you've seen these past three games?
Okay. If I was coach for the day, going against Seattle, with what I've seen from Seattle this year and what I've seen from Seattle in the past, I would go full Bill Belichick and film all of their practices and cheat my ass off to make sure I win. Because I think that's the only way we're going to win this game. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, there's that. I like it. Okay.
How do I reach these kids?
I'll tell you what I was thinking. So my thought process was, a little less cheating.
Gotta try. I mean, it's not cheating. It's strategy, AJ. It's not cheating if you don't get caught. It's strategy.
That's right. If you're not cheating, you're not doing it right, apparently.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
So here's my thought. The back three, let's start with the back three. You don't change them. These guys are working amazing together. You just don't change it. Whatever you're doing, don't even strategize different. Just do the same thing. I like Durkin and Leuven out there. You really can't change it. They work well together. Watts just seems a little lost out there, and I just don't know if he complements as well with Leuven. I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of people high on Watts, and I think he's a good player. It just doesn't necessarily work as well, in my opinion. I like that combination. The thing is, I think the biggest change for me is talking about your striker situation. And I keep saying this over and over again, and I think I'm going to get proven right. Actually, I know I'm going to get proven right because I'm always right, according to Steve.
Hey.
So you got to find a way to get Betcher out there. I'm sorry, especially when I feel like we're so defensively minded, you need some kind of offensive spark. I think there's times where, yes, you do start Klaus. If you have a team that's very physical, or even a team that you think you're going to struggle with the midfield, I think Klaus brings that benefit because he plays that false nine. He plays back. He can assist the midfield. I think that's a great pairing. You've got to have Betcher out there. And Teutsch, of course, you have to have him out there. He's one of our best players. You got to have these guys out there. It sucks to have Klaus not go out there, but it's about what's best for the team. Right. If and Betcher had equal playing time, like let's say somehow you got them out on the field every single game, Betcher leads this team in goals.
Yeah, no,
what do you think? Goal or no goal?
The goal or no goal. I actually thought that Betcher would lead this team in goal in our preseason stuff. Now, on a kind of like a serious side, I think that if I was coach for the day, I would redo what we did in San Diego. I do not want to get torched by Jordan Morris and Roldan and Ferreira. I do not want to get torched by these guys. I would rather walk out of here with a 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw, than to have Jordan Morris score 2 on us. Jordan Morris could easily get a brace. So you get that 5 line in. You get that 5-3-2, and you just hope that we can break through and score because their defense isn't the best, but my God, those forwards and those attacking mids are super dangerous. I saw Jordan Morris yesterday, just thread through some guys and just make these amazing passes and kicks. And I know our back line is stout and we have the best goalie in the league, but you gotta almost have to prioritize defense over offense next week with this team. Goal or no goal, rather park the bus than get burned 3-0.
The problem is I don't like parking the bus as a strategy long term, just because eventually something's going to break through, and your defensive line is so low that if something breaks through, it's an easy shot on goal. I think you can maintain that for 10, 15 minutes maybe, but you got to have a little bit higher defensive line.
I mean, the team did it for 90 minutes in San Diego.
True, somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it held that super hard press, and those guys were flying over the field. Now their number one went down. But, I don't think we should be pressing or sitting back for 90 minutes. But it's like, again, there's a potential. I mean, this team just scored 5 goals against LAFC. And LAFC may not be the same. Do you think we're as good as LAFC? I don't. And we're seeing what this team can do, and they're marching in here next week. So I don't think Brian Metzger is worried about coming into St. Louis. I think he's going to have his team ready to go. But I do really love that 3-back line, maybe a 4-3-2-1 or like a 4-4-2 with that diamond shape at the top. Like, great. But we just can't give up 2 goals. We can't give up a brace tomorrow, so I'm worried it's going to happen. All right, so you're going to find us all on STL City Showdown on Facebook. We are on STL Showdown AJ. We're Maze Zipper. We have a website, stlcityshowdown.weebly.com. We are posting on TikTok. You'll see us on The Happy Teacher, and we got another social web, but you'll see our videos on TikTok, and we're on Instagram occasionally, but go ahead and find us all the way out there and interact with us. If you want to come on, we are more than happy to have any guest on. We post on Reddit quite regularly and Karate 314, so we're there. Interact with us, say hi to us. You're going to see our weekly ref reports. I've been seeing a lot of good interaction with those. You're going to see our polls come out. So we really do try to engage everyone. So head out, see us. Okay. I think it's our favorite part of the podcast. So look around, make sure you don't have any small children or anxious cats around. Take a nice deep breath and stand up and scream, "Force it!"